What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another cheesy movie cinema club discussion. I don't got a name for this show just yet. My name is Cheesymanfredo, aka Alfredo Morales, and today my three co-hosts are whoever wants to talk first. Go ahead.
It's me.
Yeah.
It's me, King Protus of King Protus Incorporated. Nice to meet y'all.
There he is.
Wow, King Protus himself.
The actual king has arrived, and yeah, I like Toku. Toku good.
Yeah, Toku's great.
Toku pretty good.
Best thing ever.
It's pretty good.
All right. Who wants to introduce themselves next?
I think in terms of like Cloud, it should be Spork next, and then me.
I mean, you're already talking.
Oh, that's a good point. Hi, I'm Kazoo Chachu. I am Kazoo Chachu. You could just call me Kazoo or Kaz. I don't fucking care.
Kaz, wait.
Calling you Kaz is like a mind bender.
Yeah,
nobody's ever done that before.
It's pretty.
I'm just gonna call you,
pretty. Sick.
I think I'm just gonna call you Kazoo.
Yeah.
Okay, and I guess Spork, introduce yourself.
It is I'm Sport. Hey, I was always if you fucking watch every video on this channel, you've heard me.
You gave up so fast.
Yeah. Yeah, Spork was on here before.
Twice.
For two other videos. Yeah. I'm not gonna tell you which one. You guys should just watch every video on this channel to find out.
No.
That think of it as a treasure hunt.
You should put all of Cheesymanfredo's videos on loop and just make that your life.
Exactly. It's like a playlist of sorts.
Yeah.
To the point where you can recite them as they're playing. That'd be cool.
Right, exactly.
All right, yeah. So why are we here today, Cheesy?
Why we're here today? Well, we all just watched probably the greatest film ever made, Super Inframan.
Yep.
It's the first ever Hong Kong superhero film.
That's
also apparently the first one ever to use a storyboard.
Yeah.
Which is
what?
Which is
for the
that's I'm pretty sure that's one of the things it's known for too.
I think for the Shaw Brothers in general, or for Hong Kong.
I think for the Shaw Brothers. I think Hong Kong. It's first for everything in Hong Kong. Right. I'm pretty sure.
Huh. Okay. So I think I watched the wrong movie. I watched Chinese Superman.
I mean, I guess you get that confused. They literally put the Superman logo on one of the posters.
Yeah. I think it said that it is called Chinese Superman. It's known as Chinese Superman in Chinese.
This movie?
Yes.
I mean, I believe it.
I mean,
it sounds like something the Chinese would call
like Superman. But...
he has X-ray vision like Superman.
Oh, he does.
Another fact.
And he can fly?
It's true. He can.
But he has to do a somersault first.
Fly, maybe.
Yeah.
He has to do a somersault.
He has to do it twice.
Yeah. He has to do 2 somersaults, then fly for a couple seconds just to do 1 kick. Yeah. God, I love that. Man. I fucking love that.
He also dismounts with a somersault. It's so funny because in all of the superhero fiction I've ever seen, read, and watched or whatever, I've never seen one go from jump into their somersault and then from the end of the somersault start flying. It kind of blew my mind.
I've never seen jump into the air, do a somersault twice, start flying, and then you're just standing on the ground.
Wait, just a tangent to a point I made earlier. It's the first Shaw Brothers production to use a storyboard. Right?
Yeah.
To use a storyboard.
Also, the first film production in Hong Kong using a hot air balloon. So I guess they used a hot air balloon as promotion in Hong Kong.
Yeah, they dropped him out of a hot air balloon to get him to fly.
They fucking dropped. Yeah, I mean, he probably would have survived. He is Inframan. Yeah. After all,
he's so good.
I'm just gonna say this. If you watched any video about Inframan, any kind of smaller YouTuber, I think the first time I heard about Inframan was from James Rolfe, because he did one for Cinemasker Monster Madness.
Oh shit, did he?
James Rolfe much more than this.
And he makes the movie sound very wacky. The way he describes the movie, it's it doesn't make sense. It's wacky. It's weird. But I don't think here's my take. This movie makes too much sense to me.
You're gonna need
very
to
easy to follow.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more.
Everything they do in this movie makes too much sense.
Were you guys confused?
I
wasn't confused at all. Everything made sense to me.
I was
Yeah, it's-
confused in the beginning, and then as it got on, I started making
Okay.
sense.
Okay, there's only one thing I was confused about.
The first sequence is like
Yes.
insane. So okay, I do respect this movie for just not having an act 1. I thought that was pretty funny. That they were just like,
It
no, we don't
does.
need an act
There's,
1.
there's, a,
It does.
there's an Act 1. The monsters from
It-
underground who laid in the Ice Age just finally
It
awoken.
lasts about 5 minutes, but there is one.
Really, Act 1 should be like only 5 minutes. Like, let's get past the
For a
boring
movie
stuff.
like
Let's go
this,
straight to the
that's
action.
Yeah.
But okay, in the first scene, I guess we're gonna go right in. So for the first scene,
Alright.
whenever there's like the school bus, and then there's like an earthquake, and there's like a dragon that like falls down, disappears, and then where it disappeared, the earth just like breaks apart. What?
That was great.
What was that in
awesome.
reference to? Like, what? Where did that dragon come from, and why was he there?
The dragon was a princess dragon mom.
That doesn't make any sense.
She was, and why was she like
that was
dead?
a dragon.
Yeah.
She has a dragon. No, she has a dragon form, as we see.
It-
Spoilers ahead, guys. By the way, spoilers ahead.
Spoilers for this movie that you're watching a podcast.
Well, yeah,
for,
for this,
so.
we already fucking spoiled it. But
You can watch it
So-
very easily.
It's on.
no, because that's the dragon form of Princess Dragon.
Okay,
Mom,
okay. Well, I guess
or-
why did she do that? Like the way it looks, it looks like a dragon has already been killed and has fallen
Yes.
to Earth, and then it's destroying the Earth beneath it.
is that what that
That's
looks
what
like?
it looks like.
I'm
It's like they're just.
because I remember when watching it, I thought like, oh, the dragon struck the earth,
But it
and then
no, it
No.
falls and then it disappears like a video game. It like
It literally was
No,
doing
that's
the dead Family Guy pose, like the same pose that Peter Griffin does.
no, it wasn't falling. That's how you could. You see, that's how you create the illusion that it was flying down. You make it
Well,
fall.
it was gliding downwards, but it looks like it was like fatally wounded. It falls to Earth, then disappears like a video game, and then like the Earth is destroyed beneath it.
Also, every
it
city on the
doesn't
world
fall-
is on fire at this moment too.
Oh yeah, like that's happening in the background. We only see like
Yeah.
two or
Yeah,
four
we
scenes. Like
we see a dude fucking on fire in this movie.
I get that one. Yeah, wasn't there like a guy on fire who like fell
Yeah,
off
he
like a
falls off
second
the
story building?
building.
I feel like that might have been like footage from another movie or something that they recycled because that's what it looks like. Because
Mm.
the tone of those scenes looks so different from the rest.
That might have been where all of the budget went.
I mean, it's great, 10 out of 10 movie. No, what happened was that the dragon, like, clearly it landed on the ground, triggered the earthquake, and that created a chain reaction that set all of Hong Kong on fire.
But in the beginning of the movie, it doesn't portray that in a way that really makes any sense, like any logical sense.
It
Yes,
makes sense
Because
to
the
me.
dragon falls, then it just vanishes, like it despawns, and it's like
No, that,
Do you, think it has,
No.
do you think it has anything to do with the fact that she's called Princess Dragon Mom and that Hell Mountain has like all these like dragon skulls? Like, it could be like a
I mean, clearly it's like magic.
No.
It's just they're weird, just dragon magic.
yeah, she's
Well, I think we
weird
should like.
bullshit.
There's something that we are not addressing that we definitely should have is that her name in the original Chinese is not Dragonmon.
yes.
It's actually Easelbub, which is like a shortened version of Beelzebub.
Yeah.
So
It-
who
it-
knows
it
what they're
makes
fucking
sense.
thinking
So
when
is
they
her
made
name-
Dragonmon.
I thought it was
That
Dragamon.
makes
I thought it
sense.
was Dragamon.
Me
But
too.
then it,
it's Princess.
sometimes it sounds like
Apparently it's
mom. It just
But-
sounds like it.
if I'm looking at the Wikipedia plot for it, and it's literally mom, like a mother, like dragon mom, like she's fucking Daenerys.
It's
you know?
Princess
But evil.
Daenerys.
Yeah, what's her face?
Daenerys Targaryen,
From-
the
Daenerys.
Yeah,
Vandals.
exactly. This is like Game of Thrones, but good.
Oh,
Yeah,
It's got better
I
action than
agree.
Game of Thrones,
Agree.
that's for sure.
It kept my attention longer.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
But,
disagree with
like,
that.
So
Listening-
yeah.
wait, listening to you guys like kind of being like, why did the dragon just teleport away? Like to my head, I'm thinking like, you buffoons. It makes complete sense the dragon would teleport away.
It's the
like,
first thing you see in the movie, and it's nothing is established. So at first it seems like, oh, I guess.
I
No,
kind of love that.
This gives a new reason to in media, or a new definition to in media res. Like,
yeah, well,
I
I
mean,
thought it was
okay.
okay. Inframan already exists. He's beating up monsters, and this is just our introduction to him killing one, and then
he doesn't exist.
Yeah,
it's just
Dr. Chang creates him.
Dr. Chang creates
in this point in the movie, but I thought he was already here, like fighting monsters, and that's why this one dies.
No, it's like kind of like I want to say Get a Robo does something similar, because they kind of have a similar plot where like lizard people have risen up from the Arctic and they're attacking the Earth with mechas. So they fight back with mechas. Like, I mean, usually the evil shows up first. You know, Rita Repulso from Power Rangers shows up before they realize they got to activate the Power Rangers.
All I am saying is that it doesn't appear to be that. Whenever you first go into this movie cold, not knowing anything, it just looks. You just think of it as different. Because we do later see like the monsters like disappear and reappear. So it's like,
yeah.
Yeah.
God, I love that.
Turn invisible.
No, that makes so much sense to me. Like, so as if you I think earlier I was gonna say that if you watch any video on YouTube about Inframan, they all say, "Oh, this movie's weird, it's wacky." But like while watching the movie, I'm like, no, this all makes sense. There's a logic to this, and I know the logic.
It's quite a straightforward Toku.
I mean, the plot is like pretty straightforward, but like everything they're pulling from is stuff I've seen before. Because like they're pulling stuff from Ultraman, they're pulling stuff from Kamen Rider.
Yeah, he straight up just does an Ultra beam.
Yeah, he does the spatium beam, whatever it's called, from his hands.
He wants to.
The part when his gem started blinking, I was like, "Oh my god, he's running out of power! He only has 10 seconds left." That's not true though. Different roles.
It's like everything just makes sense. Like Inframan is like watching a speed run of Kamen Rider.
Yeah, sort of.
Specifically the Showa era. This is like very Showa era Kamen Rider. This is Showa era Toku stuff.
Oh, yeah.
The way because the whole thing where like his monsters just teleport away, they just have the teleporting power. That happens in like older Kamen Rider. Like they just do that.
I have a fun fact about this actually. Apparently, this movie takes music from Ultra 7, just like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they fucking steal too.
I read that. Also, I think also all the suits were made by a production company that did one of the Kamen Riders.
Yeah.
They did Kamen Rider Super 1.
Yo, we gotta talk about the suits.
Oh yeah, the suits are 10 out of 10.
Design that I actually do.
Wait, what about Nemesis? How are we feeling on Nemesis? He's kind of a weird one.
Wait, which one's Nemesis?
He's the only one that's named. He's the one with the drill for a hand.
Oh, I called him Booger.
Is that his name?
Yeah, he references himself.
I did. He does say Nemesis.
I'm trying to I'm looking through the list of mutants.
Because whenever Dragon Mom is like teleporting the guys in, she like picks the two, and then I think she says their names, doesn't she?
No, doesn't she say YouTube mutants, come here?
Yeah.
Yeah, she says Booger and Tentacle. That's what she calls them.
No, it's
joking, Protus. That could just be true.
No, that's what I wrote down.
It's the plant monster.
For my fan names for them.
I like the plant one. I like that he has like a skull face. That was pretty.
He
dope.
was pretty dope.
Can, like go under the ground where you can like.
Is he the tentacle?
I like
he's
the
tentacle.
panel that they like reverse the footage from him coming out of for him to go in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
that's great.
That was crazy. So yeah, I know we're jumping ahead a bit, but like him being able to burrow in the ground, but like recreate the soil perfectly, like that was a great effect. I really enjoyed that.
It was very. The practical effects in this movie are very good. Like the first scene.
Oh yeah.
Whenever the ground splits apart, like looks great. It looks really good.
Yeah, for somebody's first Toku film, it's very fucking well put together.
So many explosions. Exactly. Like there was like a lot of real close explosions to people. I was very scared.
It's like
that's Toku for you, dog. That's early Toku.
Yeah, we're talking about Chinese. This ain't even the real shit here.
No, but like I think that's what I love about kind of like so with the Chinese, infamously known for creating bootlegs, right? But I think what I love is that this is kind of like a perfect little stew of just everything that's like Toku, and they put it together in like a soup. Because like you probably couldn't do this in any other country but China.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you'd probably get too many cease or desist or whatever they had back in the 70s.
I mean, I don't know.
But like
Toku itself takes from itself quite a bit.
I mean, like, I think you're allowed to rip off Kamen Rider because you're also the company who makes Kamen Rider, so it's okay.
Hmm.
But in other places, it's like weird. Kind of there's like weird sort of like legal history with a lot of toku stuff in the other like Asian countries. But I think what I like is like in China, you could just pull off shit like this because like a lot of the things are just like moves that like an Ultraman does or moves that like a Kamen Rider does, right?
Mhm.
But it's just so I don't know. It's just so great. It feels like it doesn't feel like a shameless ripoff, right?
No.
It feels like
Yeah.
whoever made these actually kind of likes this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, really digs it. Like there's some sort of heart to
You
this,
can
right?
definitely.
And I-
It's basically a movie that could just go stand aside any of the other ones. It's basically like the same quality as like a regular Toku.
Yeah, it's the same quality as a Showa Toku.
I think the quality feels a little bit higher than like because I think the two major Toku shows specifically because I really prefer like Showa era Toku, which is like the original Ultraman and Kamen Rider, and Super Inframan feels like it has like a slightly higher budget, and I think how I mentioned earlier before it feels like a speed run of a Kamen Rider show because every like element that's in a Kamen Rider show is in this movie. It's just that they kind of just skip all the boring parts and just go straight to all the action, right?
With that. We'll get to that later, though.
Like, do you remember the one part where after like the plant monster attacks like the science center guys, which are clearly based on the science patrol from Ultraman?
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
and they're creating Inframan, and then Inframan comes out and he starts fighting the plant monster, and then out of nowhere they introduce like these like three kids that are like, look, it's Inframan. They suddenly know Inframan's name.
And that was in my notes. I'm like, how these people know who Inframan is.
That's in a Kamen Rider, those kids would be like would be Inframan's sidekick for the rest of the show,
They're like his,
right?
they're like his children.
No, they're not.
I
They're,
think
the
they're-
one
they're
girl's
the-
uncle.
they're doctors.
Aren't they
Oh,
Dr.
uncle.
Chang's children?
Yes.
Yeah, they're Dr.
Oh.
Chang's children.
Yeah.
Which I think my head canon is that Dr. Chang, the only person he told about the Inframan blueprints were probably his children,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, yeah.
So they would probably be aware, and once they saw Inframan in real life, they're like, oh, that's Inframan.
He's probably been working on this shit for a long time. He's like, God, I'm hoping I can bust out this Inframan tech one day. Hope some monsters show up.
Just in case.
Yeah, and his daughter is like, man, I want to be a soldier. I want to fight. I want to become
I want to
have
be
this
a mutant cyborg creature.
like experimentation done to me, and then like want to like fight monsters. That's what I want to do.
I wish they would make a sequel called Infra Girl.
Yeah.
We need it now more than ever. That'd been dope.
We were robbed.
She deserves it.
That was like really bad CG and everything.
Oh damn! Maybe it could work.
It would work.
There's current Toku shows that aren't that bad at CG.
Yeah,
They use it
it's
very
good.
sparingly.
It's like
But anyway, I think we should probably run down the plot a little bit.
All right, we kind of
Sure.
got lost in the.
Yeah, I gave my little spiel.
you can watch it totally legitimately on the internet. Just search the name of the movie, which is like super. What it's like.
Inframan.
It's just
Yeah,
called Inframan.
it's not just Inframan.
Super Inframan,
I
yeah.
watched it on Daily Motion. I watched the dub.
You just
Yeah,
search
so-
Super Inframan, and it's an English dub in 2 parts on Dailymotion. So
This has got to be the first time I've watched a dub for a Toku movie ever, and it was really jarring for me.
Wow, really?
I think I love the dub.
I
The
love
dub was pretty great.
Toku dubs. There's such a charm in like that shitty fucking dub acting.
it's pretty.
There's
There's a lot of good. She demon.
She Demon. She Demon's great.
She demon.
Like everything is said really fast and stilted. It's really good.
Okay, so
they just
oh sorry,
go on.
I was gonna say, so we kind of covered the first bit of it. So if we want to go into like a more of like a structured plot discussion, I can kind of lead off.
And,
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
children in a school bus is going somewhere. Dragon falls down. Earthquake. Dude, like in this, we don't know if the school bus guy dies, do we? Because like
We have to assume he's dead.
He probably died. I mean, we have to assume.
him falling to like the city on fire scene, and I thought like,
Let's not get hung up on the scene. Let's just go for the plot.
It's
Yeah, it's a good
implied
idea.
a lot of like people are dying in the background
Yeah.
of this movie.
Yeah.
and then
Then we have a really interesting scene where there's like a businessman who's like addressing a bunch of like world leaders, I guess, and he's like, "Guys, there's been all these." He says this, and it kind of like very much confused me because we didn't see it happen. He says these rays are attacking all of our schools and cities and destroying them. And then he's like, "Professor Chang, what are you gonna do about this?" And he's like, "Oh, I've got a plan." And he drives to his Ultraman Science Patrol base, which honestly, the rest of the movie pretty much just takes place in this area. It's like
just kind of just a 5-mile radius of the center.
A little forest outside and the lab.
I like their little outfits, like the blue with like the lightning.
Oh, it's great.
Thing. I really dig that. Yeah,
like Power Rangers lightning bolts.
You want to
try
try
until the scenes where there's a character who gets brainwashed and he's fighting another character, and they don't make any effort to make him look different.
It was Tu Ting, I think he's called.
I thought his name was Ming.
Oh, it might have been Ming. Oh,
no,
shit.
Ming is played by Bruce Lee.
Oh yeah, I found that out.
But not the real
movie.
Bruce Lee.
A impersonator.
No, there's another human male on Earth named Bruce Lee, but there's only one E. Or sorry, yeah, there's only one E, and he's still alive to this day.
Okay, I know that there's a Bruce L.I. Or no, there's a Bruce L.I. who makes like knockoff Bruce Lee martial arts movies.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Wait, is
stories when they're like, here's a Bruce Lee movie, and it's like, that's not how you spell his name. That's like...
Oh, Bruce 1E. Oh damn, I thought that was hella Bruce Lee.
Yeah, no, I was looking at him. I was like, this dude is such a dork. And then I looked at when the movie came out. I was like, Bruce Lee's been dead for 3 years. There's no way that he's actually in this movie.
I do like their base. It's like, it's a really cool, like, all these science guys, like, who I guess you could like assume are like up to some cool like stuff because they all know martial arts and they all like these like silver outfits.
I think that's what I love about too, because in the original Ultraman, you'll never catch any of the Science Patrol members doing martial arts. They mostly like stand in the back, figure out whatever the mystery is. But I kind of like how these guys like. They'll see the monster and all his minions, and they'll be like, "Fuck you, dog!" And
they pull their real guns out.
They pull a gun. They'll try to. I love how even like a normal. There's several like of the members who like aren't Inframan who try to just straight up fight the monster with their face.
It's great. You definitely see like the kung fu DNA in this movie. Like
I feel like the fight scenes are like better than like in the Kamen Rider show.
No, yeah, definitely. Like
they're a lot faster. I really love the fight scene with him and the plant monster in like the forest. That was like cut really well. Solid. That was a very solid fight scene. I really fucking love that.
It had like a really satisfying progression of like abilities too. I know this is like a nerdy thing to point out, but like first it just starts off with them like punching, and then like we see Ultraman, what's his name? I'm gonna Inframan. Inframan like uses missiles for the first time, and then the monster starts like instant transmission teleporting, and it's fucking awesome. It's so hot.
It takes a little bit, or it just it's weird.
And then I also love the like conclusion to this fight where he like surrounds the monster with like rockets, but they're just like actual fireworks. And then he causes the rocket or the monster to jump up, and then he does his like rip off Ultraman beam and shoots him in the air and he explodes. I was like, yeah.
You just get right next to them and then just use that.
The little edits where they like show the flip twice. That's like a Kamen Rider thing.
It's a Tokucast in general.
It happens. Yeah. Whenever he transforms, it happens every single time after the first time.
Oh, I love that.
We see the transformation sequence like 4 times, I think.
Yeah, two flips. He does a little like flying. He does a little flying scene, and then he jumps back into the action.
In different camera angles, and then he flies for 1 second, and then he's back to normal. He's just back.
I legit thought that. Wait, is this version bad? Like, did they cut out a bit? Like, no, he just. I think that's first looped.
Whenever he first like becomes Intraman, he's trying to use his power, and like he destroys like a little bit of the lab to like test out his strength. And then he does the 2 flips and then the fly, and then he's there at the place. So I thought it was okay. He flew there, but
No, the secret lab is like under their main center, under like the science center.
And so, okay, another thing. I feel like this movie just kept checking off a lot of the like sort of 70s special effects boxes that I was looking for. Like they do a Star Trek earthquake thing, like where all the characters like they just shake the camera and all the characters pretend like they're falling. It's really good.
God, I love that.
Yeah, when the plant monster was attacking the base, like it was just like shaky cam for like a good 10 minutes.
It was. There were some of those stunts looked a little dangerous. Like they were kind of getting pulled by like these kind of massive vine props that they created.
Yeah.
Like one guy looked like he was getting like dragged over like two consoles, and I'm like, damn! Imagine if that vine collapsed and you fucking fell down, busted your head open.
It's nuts.
Jesus.
Like I said before, it's like it's the kung fu DNA of like these actors actually getting into like dangerous situations that makes this movie like bizarrely entertaining.
God, fuck. After the alright, I think so. I'm trying to think what happens after the plant monster fight. I guess it's established. I guess Inframan isn't a secret identity thing. Like you're all aware that Raymond.
No, it's Rayma.
Yeah, I know it's Rayma, but I kept thinking they were Raymond.
So I looked it up,
Raymond.
and apparently it's actually like Lema, but all the L's are pronounced with R's in the names, and it really like fucked me up.
that makes sense.
That does make sense.
I think after the plant monster attacks is when Zooming, I believe Bruce Lee, we'll call him. That's when he gets kidnapped and mind controlled.
Wait, he actually no. Earlier, I just remembered now. I think one of my favorite scenes is like after like Princess Dragon Mom's like dragon like fortress like awakens, and like she's just in her like evil lair, and she's like, and it's like a roll call of all the mutants, which I love. I wish.
Yes.
God, if I were to make this movie, I would like have every time mutant shows up, it pauses and then it'll say their name right there.
It's like so she has a bunch of like Skull Common Raider like goons, and she has like this.
Yeah.
I wanted
They're
to make
great.
note of them. I think Mystery Science Theater 3000,
Yes.
when they revived it on Netflix, they totally lifted from this movie. These designs look exactly like the ones they use.
We call them the
yeah,
Skeleton
I've
Crew
read that.
in
Skeleton
MST3K.
Like the comic things.
Yeah, because in Kamen Rider, like, or maybe around like towards the second season of Kamen Rider, they updated the goons design, and they have like these skeleton like luchador designs, which are very iconic. And clearly, like the henchmen in this movie, they're called Ghost Skeleton. By the way, if you look, their names are the Ghost Skeleton, which is like, is that just a name? No, Skeleton Ghost. That's what they're called.
Skeleton Ghost.
And it's like I don't know if they're actually ghosts, but like I think they're human because you could clearly kick their fucking ass. But
They're humans. They might have been like humans that have been like controlled, or they might just be like other fucking creatures. Because Dragon Mom is like Dragon Mom and She Demon are like just humans, except Dragon Mom has her like dragon form.
Well, that's Toku.
Well, She Demon has
She
Demon has like the eyeballs on the palm of her hand.
Yeah, that's true. I loved when she raised her hand and you saw that.
I love the little.
They're like
She Demon is so underutilized in this movie. It pisses me off.
Yeah.
she's like
She's so hot.
Yeah, she says a few things, but she's like
I don't know. I wasn't really digging She Demon's design more. I think I like Dragon Mom's design
I
more.
want to say about Dragon Mom. Whenever she's in her dragon form, she is way more active and like peppy and like she's just like flipping and like jumping around and like screaming and cackling. But whenever she's like in her human form, she's like all business and serious.
Her wig would fall off.
Maybe that's
back
like
and forth like instantly. Like you won't even know that it happened. Like she's.
Yeah, it kind of she doesn't really have like a transformation. It just kind of cuts and then she's Dragon Mom.
She's happy to be in her true body again, you know?
She's like, I took over the Earth, and it's like, how? Wait, when did you take over the Earth? You've been asleep for millions of years. What are you talking about?
I gotta say, I really loved like how she would talk to people, and she would just like whip towards them, just to like address them.
All the whip.
Oh, it was so fucking good.
I love the scene where she like uses the whip to summon all of her guards, and they like appear every time she cracks the whip. It's awesome.
Yeah, they just teleport in there.
Maybe they are ghosts.
People just use their invisibility teleportation shit to just. It's not teleportation. It's just invisibility, and then they.
It's just a no. Later they distinctly show there's a difference between invisibility and teleportation, because there's that one like red mustache monster that he fights towards the end that shoots fire that clearly turns invisible. And then Inframan uses X-ray to see through his invisibility.
Yeah, but like, so that's why I think they just turn invisible because like,
use this infrared
they
vision.
turn invisible a lot, but I don't think they teleport. I just think they turn invisible.
It's just like an old school style of teleportation.
Yeah.
Oh, no, they're moving so fast. It's like Dragon Ball Z, you know?
Yeah, that's sort of like
They like fade out. they fade away.
Well, maybe the camera could see it, you know, because the camera frame is whatnot, you know.
I do love the goofy little sound effect the plant monster has when he teleports.
God, I love that everything has a sound effect.
Yeah, of course.
Oh shit! There's one scene where I can't remember what happens. I think it's one of the times where Ultraman is flipping, and it makes the same sound effect like 12 times in a row. It's like awesome. It's like pew 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 pew. It's just
You said Ultraman.
I know. I'm just gonna call him Ultraman.
I think Inframan doesn't show up until like 25 minutes into the movie, which is when he finally like.
We see the monster wreaking havoc for a little bit and like killing science dudes.
Yeah, we have to talk about how Inframan is formed. He's crucified. They put him on a fucking cross and inject him with red goo.
That's classic.
Inject him with goo, which makes his insides turn into like robot insides.
Oh, it's awesome.
No, he clearly just puts like weird circuit boards literally on top of his skin.
Yeah.
And I think it's implied that maybe the machine faces it through his body or something.
Well, there is a nuclear reactor.
You see like him, like his face, which is in a very creepy looking scene where he's like laying on the thing, and then his like face is like flashing between like mechanical and like human, and it was like, oh my god, what's happening?
Was it just me, or the blueprints looked like a Kamen Rider more than like an Inframan?
I don't know.
Like,
I don't remember.
Like, to me, when I saw the blueprints, I'm like, that looks more like a Kamen Rider. I don't know why. Like, I mean, that's just me. That's just me, dog.
This is the part of the podcast where I announce that I've never seen any Kamen Rider, and my Kamen Rider knowledge is very minimal. So
no, it's fine. It's kind of like this, only a show. Imagine if this whole movie was stretched out into like 30 episodes.
This basically felt like 3 episodes of a TV show put together.
It did, because there's like several different schemes they try to pull off, right? Yeah. Like the first one is just straight up attack the science center
using dynamite.
Then the second one is what's that like red spider that shows up? What's his plot?
I didn't get his name. I wish we knew his name, because
it's gonna destroy the electrical grid, right?
Damn, in IMDb it says that they do have names. There's Demon Princess Elzebub, there's Witch Eye, Fire Dragon, Spider Monster, Plant Monster, Drill Arm, Long-Haired Monster, Iron Armor Monster.
Not the real names. I
think names. The English dubs have better names. Wait, Princess Dragon Mom, She-Demon, Emperor of Doom,
whoa.
Giant Beetle Monster, Octopus Mutant, Drill Beast, Laser Horn Monster, and Iron Fist Robots.
Alright. I could have sworn Drill Monster was called Nemesis like 5 times in that movie.
I heard Nemesis.
I thought Drill Monster says that I'll be Inframan Nemesis. Something like that.
I feel like people call him Nemesis too, though.
I think I know what you mean, Kazoo. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
One of the few things I remember from the latter half of the movie.
So anyway, I think after that. Okay, so before the plant monster actually attacks the science center, at the same time they sent the drill monster to kidnap Ming, because they're gonna mind control him,
mm-hmm.
right? and once a mind control Ming shows up, it's so funny how obviously Ming is acting like something's wrong with him, but no one like picks up on it.
Wow.
Like Ming, are you alright? What did they do to you? And Ming's like, I'm just tired. I need to go get some rest.
I like how in the beginning, whenever he's briefing the world people on like the monster threat, he's like, they're more intelligent than the smartest supercomputer. Says that. Whenever they mind control Tu Ming, she says, put like scientific knowledge into his brain. It's like, whoa.
I remember that.
It's like, why?
I don't know. I don't even really have an excuse for that. I mean, it's funny.
Oh, wait, weren't they trying to like steal the blueprints? That's probably why.
Yeah, they're trying to steal. It seems like luckily they mind controlled Ming before they realized an Inframan even existed. So they're like, "Oh, we're gonna send Ming to steal the Inframan blueprints," which he does. But then like everyone at the science center like figures out that that's what he's doing.
Yeah.
So they all get on their sick ass bikes and they all chase after him.
Scene.
So,
yeah, that was
spider guy. He's like fighting. He's like,
the spider guy shows up.
Yeah.
And they all fucking just start they all straight up just trying to fight him.
Yeah.
Dude, I love that the regular mooks just challenge the spider guy and they hold their own decently well.
Yeah. We gotta gang up. We gotta go like. We gotta ride over there on our motorcycles and beat up that monster. And
I think my favorite bit is when they like somebody rides the motorcycle into him.
Yeah.
They do that to the driller monster in later towards the end.
Yeah. They all they fight.
That's also another Kamen Rider thing.
Oh, yeah,
like in Kamen Rider, he would usually try to fight them as a specifically only Kamen Rider would do this. He would usually try to fight the monster as a human, and then later he'll change into Kamen Rider. But I like it how everyone just tries to fight the monster.
Oh, it's awesome.
They're like the world protectors or something. Like you get the impression that these guys like do shit, like they just run out whenever there's like a big threat that needs to be taken care of.
It's that kind of classic kind of like super scientist cliche. They're not just scientists; they're also like karate experts and everything. You know.
Yeah, that was the '60s. You know, you just did stuff like that.
You had a lot of free time in the '70s. You know.
Really? Another thing we didn't mention
becomes Inframan. I don't know his name. I don't remember.
He's
Rayman.
Another one of the
Rayman, yeah, or Lehman.
Was there anything special about him that made him choose him as Inframan?
He's epic. He's just so fucking epic.
Wasn't it implied that he was like kind of like the sub leader, the vice president or whatever of the organization?
I don't.
Yeah, he's the leader of the bunch.
Do you know him well?
Yeah.
But it feels like any of them could have become Inframan. Like,
maybe that's the lesson we take away from that.
I am Inframan.
Anyone could wear the mask.
Yeah.
Anyone could get expensive cyborg surgery to become a super robot man.
Oh, that's another thing too. Like the one, the doctor's like, this will like ruin your life. Like if you do this surgery, like your life's over. He's like, do it right now.
And then his daughter. This scientist has been hyping his kids up to be like, okay, sometime might come where you might have to be child soldiers, and I'm gonna have to do a horrible experimentation to your body. But it's all for the.
Oh god! Wait, what scene is that? I thought is that the scene where he tells his daughter that actually my greatest creation is you, my daughter?
I'm saying clearly the children know about Inframan, so he's been telling them about it for like forever, probably, and then.
Yeah.
Imagine if your dad was just like, "Yo, dude, I'm building this thing."
Yeah,
there's probably like some like military kid somewhere where his like scientist American government dad's all like, "Hey, yo, so we're working on Iron Man. Don't tell no one."
Jimmy, you are not gonna believe the aliens I dissected today.
And then Jimmy goes on Fortnite and it says, "Oh, my dad's building Iron Man in the government."
Then he does the double dab emote and then kills himself.
And they say, and then everyone replies, my uncle works in Nintendo. No one believes him.
Going back to the spider monster, so he has 2 powers, okay, maybe 3 that I've noticed. So he shoots
Every
out,
monster has like 5 powers.
yeah, he shoots out like a webbing, like from like the old Spider-Man video games, that like once it hits you, immediately you're like trapped in a ball of web.
Yeah.
And then he like pisses on you with his like gross mouth. He shoots us like
yeah.
It's acid,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
explodes.
Acid. Which
yeah, that makes more sense.
His webbing like bomb explosion also explodes. By the way,
It
just like
doesn't seem to hurt you. It just makes a effect explosion just because it's cool.
The amount of explosions in this movie. Yesterday, I just watched all of Close Enough, which they have like exploding as like a huge gag in it. So coming off of that to like this is super fucking funny.
oh god, I what I also like is that Inframan tends to fight like 2 monsters at the same time, which is always just great.
Oh, that's awesome.
I think my favorite monster design is the hairy one that shoots like the lasers.
So was that during this fight? Was that during the spider fight that appeared?
It was during the middle of the spider fight because I think the hair monster like tags in to fight in Inframan,
That
and
guy
they
felt
do like
so
a beam
awesome.
fight.
Yeah. And the monster gets killed quite quickly.
I like the part where they're doing the beam fight and it's going back and
Yeah.
forth, and then the hair monster shoots out like a second beam from his crotch
Yeah.
that hits Inframan and throws him into the lake.
I love that so much because it's just like, why didn't you do that earlier? It's like,
It's that weird thing where like
You do that earlier in this movie.
it's that weird thing where like just monsters just have 50 different powers and then they only use them when like they just need it, which I guess
Inframan will only use the Ultraman laser as like a last resort, even though he could just get up in a monster's face and just blast him with it easily.
and he does it a lot of times too. It's not like he's limited. Like when he fights
Yeah.
the hair monster, he does it several times and then finishes her off with it.
Yeah.
It's pretty fucking awesome.
I think then later my other favorite moment happens. So while watching this movie, I'm thinking like, wow, this Inframan has like all the Ultraman stuff, has all the Kamen Rider stuff. All that's left for him to do is to turn huge,
Yeah.
and then he turns huge.
Yeah, it kind of you know
So
it,
much- holy shit! Especially how it ends.
thinking about
Yeah.
it reminds me of,
Scream.
playing fighting with your friends at like the schoolyard at school when you're like little kids, where you're like, I'm gonna use this power, and like, nah, I can do that power too, but it's like it's like Inframan, like the spider guy like grows giant, and then Inframan's like, okay, I guess I'll grow giant too. I guess.
I guess that's
Get
what
on
we're
that,
doing.
like, half a minute. He just looks up at him and he's big, and then he goes giant. It's the funniest fucking shit.
And this is
I
the
also
only
love-
time it happens, right? Like it never
Yeah.
happens again.
Yeah, it never happened. I thought it would happen again at the end, like maybe a Princess Dragonmon would grow huge, and then Inframan would also have to grow.
No, they ran out of budget.
They ran out of
Yeah, I guess they. I mean, maybe like I don't know. I'm debating whether or not I like that they only did that once.
Because it's just like there's like they have like one prop environment where like to make it look like they're giant, but it sometimes it cuts away from it to where it just looks like they're normal sized again because they're just big tires. It's like
Yeah, there's no like
I
city
re-
setting to like give that normal perspective you see in Tokusatsu.
well,
It's that like kind of like old Showa. They even do this even today in current Tokusatsu, where like we're gonna go to a field like out by canyons, like far away near construction sites where it's all empty and whatnot,
yeah,
and we'll have a lot of room to just film like 50 guys trying to beat the shit out of each other.
it's a big thing in old not Toku, Showa.
Yeah, it's very. Yeah, go on. I'm
Oh
sorry.
no, I was just saying, like I've seen a few Ultraman episodes, and it's a very big, a noticeable thing that they'll go out to like specifically an empty field to like fight.
Mhm. I like the effect for Inframan and the spider monster growing huge. I think that was really well done. It looked
Yeah.
really good. Like even for something in the 70s, I'm like, damn, that looked very smoothly.
It was
How
cool.
it just grew huger. Also like how the kind of poetic irony of like after Inframan grows huge, they have a little fight. Then Inframan like makes the giant version of the spider monster blow up. Then he shrinks down,
Yeah.
and then he squishes him like a bug.
Oh, it's fucking awesome.
That's my favorite bit. It's so well. No,
It-
actually, my favorite bit is later on, but it is so fucking.
it's like I don't know how people could say like this is weird. This makes complete sense.
It's not hard
There's
to follow at all.
yeah, there's logic to this. All the normies out there who don't understand.
The only thing that was hard to follow for me is after this scene, whenever it just becomes really boring, and then I zoned out completely.
The whole subplot with like the kids in the cave was just, I don't know, that whole area was just so anticlimactic because it didn't really have like a satisfying like fight scene. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
also, this is maybe just like because I'm a crazy person, but the second that I saw that one young kid run into the cave alone, I was getting like heart palpitations because you can like die in a cave so easily. Like it's very easy to just like take one wrong turn and die. And at the time, I thought that he was with his mom and his younger sister, but it's actually just his two sisters. And then they all, the other sister's like, I'm gonna go in the cave too. I was like, you're gonna make this poor girl, this little girl, is gonna be alone in the world.
I think
really weird realistic concern for this movie.
isn't that the little girl? Isn't that like her last scene? Because I don't think she ever shows up after that. I think the kids only exist.
I think you're
besides
right.
like besides the older daughter who later gets kidnapped in the end of the movie. I think the other two siblings only exist for like the middle of the movie.
I think so.
Like they never come back again.
Episode 2,
It's funny if Inframan was a show, like that whole thing would have been an episode.
Yeah,
probably would have been the same episode where he fights the Driller monster too. I mean that was all right.
It's just really funny to me, like a lot of little things about this. So really, what this whole cave scene is like, it's the what's his name, the drill monster. His plan is to like put dynamite under the under the science team's headquarters and blow it up.
Well, he's gonna blow up the electrical source.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, but he also like, so he sees this child, what's his name, Professor Chen's son, and his reaction isn't to murder this kid; it is to tie him up.
Yeah,
which is hilarious. It's just
I guess the Driller monster thought like, it'd be more terrible if the explosion kill him.
No, he didn't think anything. It's just because he didn't want to kill a kid.
Yeah, it's for a child. This is a movie for
pretty
child.
averse to killing. Even Princess Dragon Mom is all
they
like
do a lot of that in the beginning of the movie.
I mean, I think the only one that we see kind of directly die in a terrible way is like Ming.
Yeah.
I thought they would save Ming. But he dies mind controlled, which is terrible.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
I think she says it's like 6,000 degrees too. Like, damn, that motherfucker was crispy.
Yeah, was gone.
Left of him but ash, or something like that.
And I'll turn her into ash too.
How do you understand?
It's like her getting kidnapped doesn't really change anything for their plan. Like their plan before she gets kidnapped was like, okay, we're gonna like attack the island all together, and it's like, all right, and then she gets kidnapped, and it's kind of like, okay, we're still gonna do our plan anyway. Nothing really changes.
Yeah, I think, and this is kind of the beginning of where the movie starts to get that like second act slump. I think where it's just like, I mean, we have some important scenes here. Like we have the introduction of the Thunderball fists as a new power up that he's going to be getting like way later. But yeah, so it's, and then there's just like, I don't know, I'm gonna be honest, this part was kind of dragged on for me, where like they kidnapped us.
I didn't get anything after this.
I mean, I could see that, because kind of like the constant, because like the third act is basically just constant fighting, like one scene to another of just constant just fighting. Everyone like this is kind of like maybe they realize, oh shit, we don't have enough time, so just shove in every monster now into this last part.
But like before that end, it's like there's like a big scene where it's just humans and there's just the awful. It's just bad, which is common in these movies. So I'm like, it's just like a real Toku movie. There's just the awful, boring human.
The boring. I feel like this movie probably has like the least amount of boring human scenes, I would argue.
It's got a good balance.
I think other Toku movies do it way better. I think, like, I mean, this might be cheating because this is like a modern movie. Shin Gojira did a really good job.
It's definitely cheating.
Of making like, yeah, it is very cheating. But like, as the shining example of doing really good human scenes, would be Shin Gojira.
Yeah, that's my favorite Godzilla movie. Probably my favorite kaiju flick.
I think this is like my favorite of of Showa era Toku. Like I don't know if anything exists that could top this or anything that's very similar to it.
I think
that
Jet
isn't, like, a
Jaguar. What is that? Hedera? No, not Hedera.
It was
Godzilla versus
Megalon. Yeah, that's probably the closest because it has like a beginning with like a very weird scene with a child and an earthquake, and also just like hilarious robot man too. I don't know.
Okay, that's like on the list. I gotta watch that.
Kind
Oh,
of cool. Most of them are the science dudes.
Yeah.
But
Wait, what about him?
well, the humans, it's better than most because the humans aren't all just useless, boring guys.
Yeah.
The science
Oh,
dudes
yeah.
are cool to watch because they can fight. So,
They all kind of lay down their life. Like at the end, after like Inframan kills Princess Dragon Mom, and they leave the Dragon Skull Fortress. You could actually see a couple corpses of the science center
Oh
people.
shit!
I just noticed that.
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
You didn't notice that? Yeah, some of them are like some of the motherfuckers died in that attack. I like the ball explosion like spears they had. It reminded me of like what the War Boys use in Fury Road in Mad Max.
Oh yeah.
How they would throw it and it would explode. Like that's what that reminded me.
That
of.
was super cool. So wait, there's one thing I wanted to say. So we were talking about how like after the spider fight, the movie sort of takes a slump, and I think at least that's my opinion. And it kind of remains that way until there's one scene that I was like, it like brought me right back in when Professor Chen is like on a speedboat with like two monsters. That was fucking hilarious. And then they take a
I love that
speedboat
shot.
to like, yeah, okay, that's what I was imagining the intro for this Cheesycast episode is going to be. It's just like this old man on a speedboat through monsters. After that, everything is pretty much golden in this movie.
I think what I was gonna originally, maybe I might do that, but the scene I like is like when Inframan is fighting like the two like twin robot monsters at the
That's
end.
my favorite.
And, like, he-
Yes.
Yeah, like he punches him
punches
and he falls back, then he comes back up, he punches him, he falls back,
Oh,
he
yeah.
comes back up. And I think he like froze him or something because he does this thing where he jumps away on his head. Like he's doing a weird pogo jump with his head.
Yes.
That was
God,
Cocoa
shit.
Bananas.
That shit was straight up Looney Tunes. Like that was like a Tom and Jerry fucking bit right there.
That was probably
That
my favorite
happens a
part,
lot.
honestly. That whole like, not only from like the silliness of that, but conceptually, those guys are fucking awesome. Like how they shoot out those like fucking they shoot their heads out and also their like arm.
I think they're like probably my second favorite, or maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I'll make those guys my favorite like design in the whole movie. I like the part where like so towards the end of the movie, Inframan is just ambushed by all the henchmen and Princess Dragonmon and her two last monsters, and they freeze him, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like stop, he can't move. And then they're carrying him off because I think they're just gonna keep him frozen so they can mind control him later. And then Inframan has like a flashback that never happened, where like I love it's Professor Cheng's face, and he's all like, "Remember how I told you that if you shoot yourself with your own missiles, you could defrost yourself? You should do that now, Inframan."
it's just the playground shit. It's like, actually, my missiles. If I shoot myself, then I can. It's like he's always doing the thing that can one up.
I'm immune to my own missiles, so
The whole movie is just like, yeah, but I had this super extra secret superpower you didn't know I had.
It's great.
That makes me win.
And the way that he does it too is so funny because we keep seeing like whenever he shoots the rockets out, they like all land perfectly like straight up, so they're shooting upwards, and somehow he does that here too. I think the in the flashback he literally says you need to use 5 rockets to reignite your body, and he does that.
I love it. It's very specific.
it's so video gamey. It's like
What's very funny is like he had those rockets at the beginning, but then after he doesn't use those rockets in a fight ever again until like the very end.
Yeah.
That's his
So I kind of forgot he had those.
Well, I think he has like rocket kicks too. I think.
Oh yeah, he does that
His
weird.
most OP ability, like it's like when you're playing a video game and you find the one attack that wins every time. Because like in like the near the end, he does that thing where he like flies up in the air and then his it doesn't make any sense because rockets come out of his shoes, but then he flies forward. And then he like blows their brains up with it. And he does it literally to every enemy at the end. It's awesome.
It's so fucking good.
I love that. It comes out forward, but then he flies forward.
Like his forward momentum must be insane for him to be able to do that.
Nuts.
It might be like, maybe it's like energy or something, or maybe it's just the bottom is just on fire. It's not really like a flame, like a rocket.
He's using the same effects though as the rocket.
I know, but we're gonna say Spork.
Oh, none. I was gonna say that earlier in the movie whenever he's fighting one monster. It was really.
He does. I think he does it like 3 times, maybe.
Yeah.
We haven't talked about the Thunderball Fist.
Oh yeah.
Upgrade.
Yeah.
Like, because towards like maybe like after the plant monster fight, they're all like, I think he's all like, oh, let's go attack Princess Dragon Mom. And then the Dr. Chang's like, no, you need to level up your experience points to get the Thunderball Fist to attack the one weakness of Princess Dragon Mom.
Can someone explain to me what this is? Because I was very confused by what this power does.
It's like gloves that shoot out and punch for him.
And then it retracts.
They come back. Yeah, they come back like instantly though.
Yeah, he's got the
Thunderball Fist.
He's got the Rocketo Punchy.
Yeah, he basically does like a rocket punch, but he still keeps his hand. It's like the gloves go out to punch for him.
Yeah. And they also deal I think he said like 1,000,000 volts of electricity. Like that's a lot, dude.
That's a very common Rider thing.
Strong enough to defeat the hardest metal that was just created in a lab.
That we have right here for you to test on.
Yes, the little orb.
I also love that it has like little saw blades that come out.
Yeah, and then he said also you have these saw blades that just shoot out and you can instantly slice up the monsters.
Oh my god, the other greatest scene of the movie. So yeah, when he's fighting her at the end, her being Dragon Mom, he ends up decapitating her like 7 times.
Oh yeah, she just regenerates.
Oh, that's so good. Because it's just like, I don't know, it feels like something I would do, where I'd be like, oh shit, like she can't possibly have another head hidden under there, and just chops the next one off. The other one grows back.
I remember the part where Inframan kills a she demon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Where like they're having the little beam fight, and he's using his saw blades, and his saw blades go past her beams and cut off her eyeball hands.
Yeah, that was fucked up. I actually gasped when I saw that.
Yeah.
I think didn't then she fell inside the pit. That Ming fell in to die.
I think so.
Yeah, she did, and she like hits the side of it too. Like it's not like she even falls right into the fire. Her body like slams into like a rock. It's really fucked.
Yeah, very very cool. He's very gory when it comes to the women death.
He really is. What's going on with you, Inframan? You got some problems?
I was thinking about this movie in relation to that. Like, the main villain is like a woman. Like, she's like controlling these guys, and I'm like, I wonder what they mean by this. What did he mean by this?
Either some sort of some sort of bigotry, some misogyny.
Yeah, I mean, it's
because like. You think it could be like, oh, if a woman's in power, that's a bad thing. But then, how the little girl wanted to be Infra Girl, it's like if she could take the title of another man, that's only when a woman could be valid, you know.
Mm-hmm. Even the older sister kind of dismisses the Infra Girl thing. She's like, ah, yes, very funny.
Maybe someday.
Maybe someday, you dumb bitch.
Dumb fucking kid.
Yeah, I can't believe that this movie is so anti-feminist. It's ridiculous, guys.
It's ridiculous. Who would think a movie from the 70s?
I'm like thinking.
I mean, the villain is literally a mom.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the only form of parenting that's valid is a dad, like Dr. Chang.
Dr. Chang. You gotta love his Christian. You gotta love his fucking pipe that he rocks in 2/3 of the movie.
Oh yeah, it's pretty great.
Dr. Chang is pretty cool. I want to be Dr. Chang, guys. Do you think he's dead? Do you think the guy's dead or is he still alive?
I think Dr. Chang is like the real like main character of the movie if you think about it.
Yeah.
Because everything is like in relation to him, and Inframan is just like your regular Joe Schmo. I guess you could project on to be an Inframan because he blends in with all the science center guys.
If you're a Japanese or a Chinese male.
You're Chinese male, which is apparently the majority of the population of the world.
That is true.
You know,
Population
Sorry.
in China is a little bit weird, but
so like you know, it could make you know we might be the wrong audience for this film as far as we know.
no.
But you guys got anything? Did we skip over anything else? I think
It feels like
we got it.
we've been talking for a while. We got over it. We got an hour.
Did we talk about how he actually ends up beating her?
Oh yeah, like he does the Thunderball fist, and then he does like this laser, like crossed arm laser thing, and shoots her, and then she starts flashing rainbow, and then she blows up.
She kind of
Which
like fades away. She gets like erased away. It's weird.
Yeah, and then the whole place is collapsing. I kind of love it that they all like speed away on the boat and they're all laughing like, haha, we did it, haha, we saved the world.
It is such an abrupt ending.
It's so
That
I
just want to say I love whenever an effect happens, the screen like pauses because they can't edit the footage without it being like a still frame.
Right.
It was like really funny. Like whenever Tu Ming's or whatever his eyes like flash, he'll like his face will, like just like
Oh yeah.
just be or whenever anybody's teleporting in.
A
just
big
really
one I noticed was Inframan getting defrosted. Remember that? It's just like
oh yeah,
the little white.
that looked that looked weird. That looked a little computer generated almost.
Yeah.
That was like a Steven Universe. Well, because in Steven Universe, like every shape is just like a cylinder, like a stretched out cylinder, and that just kind of reminded me of like that general shape that you see in Steven Universe.
Mhm.
Really weird reference. Sorry.
No, I got you.
Super Inframan.
Okay, we get it, Protus. You have a Steven Universe podcast. But I think I just
But I'm not.
God, I want to.
Someday.
I love this movie. Unironically, I really do love this movie. Because it's literally like just everything I like about like Toku,
Good Toku.
specifically from Showa era stuff, just like kind of spat on to like one film, which I think it's like perfect. I have this whole thing. I don't think I ever recorded me saying this, but I used to say something like the Ultraman show is like watching a good Godzilla movie, because in Ultraman they cut out the majority of the boring human parts, and it's only 30 minutes, so you don't have to like waste too much of your time just to get to the good Godzilla bits, right?
Yeah.
But then Inframan is like a good episode of Ultraman stretched out into movie length, but like they just shoved the entire season of Ultraman into one movie, and it just feels, I don't know, like it feels so right. Like I feel like, you know how there's like movies that are based on like franchises like books and whatnot, and they try to shove 3 books into one movie or something.
Yeah.
And they fumble and fuck it up.
Ooh.
I think Inframan is like a good version of that, of like an imaginary Inframan like show or manga being adapted or something. You get me?
Yeah,
You
I feel
know what I'm saying?
you.
Feeling
We
you.
should look up to see if there's any like. There's got to be like some like comic adaptation of Inframan.
If there's not, I'm gonna have to do it. I looked into what else the Shaw Brothers do, and it seems like it's all kind of maybe stuff around the same vein. They did one called The Mighty Pecking Man, which apparently was redistributed by Quentin Tarantino.
Oh, I was gonna bring that up. Tarantino fucking loves the fucking Shaw Brothers. I think in Kill Bill, like it opens up with like Shaw Vision or something that's like that.
Yeah, I should check out more Shaw Brothers stuff.
That's pretty cool.
Might be just right up my alley.
Maybe,
Yeah.
maybe.
I
All
have
right.
never heard of this
Yeah, go on.
before, so I guess I have a whole new thing to jump into now.
I'm glad
I knew about this for like years. I'm glad I watched it now that I'm a little bit more aware of Toku stuff. Because back in the day, I just knew about the Godzilla stuff, and I didn't like expand. It wasn't until maybe a couple years ago that I expanded into Kamen Rider and Ultraman related stuff, you know. So I'm glad I got to watch it now with a more educated brain.
So for me, like I did enjoy the movie, don't get me wrong, and there were certain elements that I was like super in love with, like the part when he steps on the spider. These are like moments where I'm like cheering at the screen, like hell yeah. But I don't know. I think for me, like the Toku that I enjoy more is the I think it's Heisei era Toku.
Yeah.
Like I feel like with all the movies I've seen from that era, and of course this is like totally my bias. Like I have not seen every movie from every era, so
No, go ahead.
so yeah, this
I'm
is
not gonna
just
get mad.
my perspective. Like the ones I've seen from that era, the Heisei era, are like awesome. Like the what's it called? The Gamera trilogy are like incredible. The some of the Godzilla movies, like Violante, is like one of my favorite kaiju flicks.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah, I think they like those era movies specifically focus. From what I noticed, I haven't looked into. I know the Gamera trilogy is the same continuity for those three
Yeah.
movies,
Yeah.
and so is for the Godzilla one, right?
Yeah, they kind of
I
like
mean,
did a reboot.
Yeah. That was a big era for like reboots. Even for like Ultraman and Kamen Rider had their reboots around that time too. And things kind of became a little bit more serious.
Yeah, that's
You know.
that's really what I like a lot, and like unsurprisingly, some of my favorite anime are like super serious anime, like take themselves so seriously. That's what I love about those movies, and like the one Mechagodzilla movie with Kiryu. I don't know if I guess it technically is a Heisei era movie.
That's like
Yeah.
Millennium era movie.
Oh, is it? Okay. Well, then I'm lying.
Yeah,
But I love those
I mean-
kind of like super serious. Like, even though this is silly, we're gonna go really dark with it. And I don't know. I find that a little fun.
I mean I like those too. I like anything. I mean
Anything with a concept
ultimately
is fun.
it just has to be good.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, it just has to be good, and each one kind of has like their own like kind of like things that shine out, you know. I mean, I'll watch anything from the Heisei era. I haven't seen enough of it because I don't know. I think what I like about Showa era stuff is a lot of the designs were. I'm a big sucker for like simpler like superhero designs.
Yeah, it's
Right.
very pulpy, and that's the fun part about just Showa era stuff in general is that it's just like it doesn't take itself too seriously, but it's in love with like how like dumb it is.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like I've been very kind of in the past few years. I've been growing more and more in love with like the sillier aspects of kind of like not just like Toku stuff, but just superhero stuff in general. Like I just like my favorite Batman is like Lego Batman movie. Like I think that's my favorite Batman movie. Like I like The Dark Knight, but at the end of the day, this is a guy in a giant bat costume, and that's like the most silliest thing ever, you know.
Yeah.
And I kind of prefer more
Costume.
sillier, anything that isn't just so like trying to be too fucking serious, you know.
Yeah, it's nice to like just take a step back and sit and just be like, yeah, this is a dude who fucking decided my parents are dead. Time to dress up as a bat and beat people to death.
to avenge them. Time to beat up the poor. That'll help.
Beat up the poor.
It was a different time when you could beat up the poor and they couldn't go on Twitter and complain about it.
My Batman. There's like police brutality footage of Batman.
Dude, I'm gonna cancel Batman.
Yeah, we try to cancel Batman.
Honestly, Batman needs to be fucking canceled. Fucking
Cancel.
like
There was that one a comic that was trying to convince people that Batman's a cop, and everyone was like shitting on that comic, like, oh, but Batman canonically like donates to like a shit billion like charities in universe, and it's like that's another thing. Like when you try to like, if you try to become too realistic with a superhero, you're gonna have to answer all these fucking questions. Like, yeah, I don't think dressing up like a bat suit is really gonna help the crime problem, dog.
yeah.
Like that, realistically that wouldn't. Because you're like wasting so much money just for one guy to beat the shit out of.
I love the charity excuse. It's such an art imitates life thing. It's all like, who cares what he does? He gives away his money, and I don't see you giving away your money.
Yeah, bro, you can beat up as many mentally ill people as you want. God, if like, imagine if like, okay, this is a big ass tangent from Inframan, but imagine if like Elon Musk was like Batman, he would probably tweet a lot of pro Batman related stuff.
It's a big
Oh
tangent.
yeah.
He's a very
Like he'll defend Batman on Twitter, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Are you Batman?" He's like, "What?
no.
In his next appearance, he has like 3 black eyes and like.
Batman. He could fucking talk about it every second of his life.
Does Batman have hair plugs? I think not.
Yo, is it just me, or like, does Batman have like a South African accent or something?
Dude, it's crazy. Batman just donated $4 million through PayPal.
No, it's really strange. It really looks like Batman got all of his wealth from his family controlling black people in South Africa.
God, some fucking redditor is gonna at Elon Musk and be like, "Is it true that you make the tech for Batman?" And he'll just like reply with a winky face.
Elon Musk was like wanted to do like some superhero thing. He would not be able to keep quiet about it for a second.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that guy. So that's why we need more Inframan in the world, you know.
Yeah, we need more pillars of generous scientists who just give suits to random.
Yeah, we just go up to their employees and say, "Hey, do you want to become like a mutant cyborg and fight for the fate of the world?" Like, it'll fuck you up for the rest of your life, but like, that's kind of too real. That's like real life military shit. Hey, you want to go fight in a war? You get PTSD, but
I said that, but it's
but everyone likes you, you know.
All right,
Support
like
support our Inframan.
What was that for?
I mean, it seems like Inframan's doing just fine. Like, he doesn't really seem that hurt by
Oh no.
all the stuff.
Yeah, like when it first happened, when he did like the procedure and he instantly became like Inframan with the suit, I thought that was going to be what he looked like for the rest of his life.
Too.
But no.
But yeah, it's going by that common writer logic where he just changes and his suit appears, you know.
Yeah.
This classic transformation stuff. In the grimdark sequel, he has like cancer from the nuclear reactor that's in his body, and he gives all his loved ones cancer. And he's all like, "Oh God, I wish there was still monsters around for me to fight, because now I'm useless. I'm like an abandoned gun. I'm dying." Oh.
That's gonna be your IDW comic. That's gonna be your
Yeah, it's gonna Super Inframan 2. He's a heroin addict, and he's in the streets of Hong Kong. he tries to join the protests, but like he gives people cancer around him, so the protesters don't want him. Like, who do I join? What side am I on?
I became the monster.
Who watches the Inframan? Oh God! So I guess anything else? I guess before we go.
No.
I can't think of much else. No.
No, I guess. Well, now it's time to plug your shit, you guys.
Wait,
So
I do want to say
whoever has
one
stuff to
thing.
plug- All right, go ahead.
If you have
Protus.
not experienced the classic Ultraman show, I think there's like compilations, or if you just look it up on YouTube, there's like
Oh, yeah.
his fights with monsters are so fucking brutal. Like, he constantly rips off their arms and faces, and like there's always blood spraying everywhere. There's one fight where he shoots like a beam that splits a monster in half like perfectly, and it just like flops to the ground in two pieces. Definitely check those out.
Oh yeah,
Definitely.
yeah. Ultraman doesn't fuck around. And if you want to see even more brutal Ultraman style fights, look up Redman, because he's like He's like if Ultraman was the Punisher.
Oh, that's such a good.
He doesn't give a.
It's such a good.
Yeah,
premise.
He doesn't give a fuck if you're not committing any like kaiju crimes. He'll just show up out of nowhere and just murder you.
Oh, Kaiju Crimes. It's a great name for my next comic.
But by default, if you are a kaiju, you are committing a crime to Redman. Just being a kaiju is a crime in itself.
That's
And
how Kaiju Max is.
Mm-hmm. I have read that comic.
Yeah, Kaiju Max is great. Check that out. I interviewed the creator of Kaiju Max on this YouTube
Oh, shit,
channel,
did
by
you?
the way, with Xander Cannon. Yeah.
Oh, fuck. I like that comic a lot.
Oh shit, you didn't know I interviewed
No,
him?
I missed that.
Damn, I'm going to DM that to you. It's like the second interview I ever got on this channel.
Fuck, that's cool.
Yeah. Okay, so I guess now it's time to play. Oh yeah, watch Super Inframan. You don't gotta watch any other Toku stuff. Super Inframan kind of sets the bar really high, though. Not gonna lie, I'm saying it right now.
There you go.
That's about it. Yeah, there you go. And okay, you guys can plug now. What do you guys wanna plug? What do you guys do?
I'll go first. I do a JoJo podcast that's shitty and don't listen to it, called Joe Kakaka. I guess it'll be linked below. I also do a Steven Universe podcast. It's pretty cool.
I'll go. I'm an artist. I draw pictures. Sporktown Hero on Twitter.
I guess I draw. I just don't post shit on my Twitter. But
Yeah,
if you look in the near future, I bet you're gonna find some stuff there.
Hell
yeah, because it was one of my favorite artists who doesn't make art.
I will hold you
I
to
hate it.
It's a tragedy.
Yeah, it's we'll come back next episode to see if Kazoo is still making art. Who knows? Okay, yeah, you know me. I'm Cheesymanfredo, aka Alfredo Morales. I make Villain Verse, which is my current ongoing comic. You can read that for free. Down below there'll be a link. You should also check out the rest of this channel. I got like other sorts of podcasts. This channel I just kind of do whatever I want now with this channel. So hell yeah. And yeah, I think we're done here.
Oh wait, one more thing. Cheesy and I did a really cool podcast on Valerie and her Week of Wonders. Go watch it.
Oh yeah, that was previous episode. Go check that out. It'll probably be on the same playlist.
Watch all his stuff on loop, guys. I'm telling you.
Hell yeah. All right, cool. Okay, I'm gonna stop recording now.